Hello, my name is Shane Nelson, and I serve as the Deschutes County Sheriff and President of the Oregon State Sheriff's Association. The Oregon State Sheriff's Association, OSSA, is a nonprofit organization that represents the interests of Oregon's 36 elected sheriffs. OSSA has thoroughly reviewed Measure 114, and we have serious concerns on how this measure will adversely impact public safety in our communities around the state. Measure 114 will require local law enforcement agencies to create and fund a firearm permit process out of local budgets. It will move very scarce law enforcement resources away from protecting our communities to doing backgrounds and issuing permits. This is at a time when property and violent crime is skyrocketing, and law enforcement staffing in Oregon is already one of the lowest in our nation. OSSA conducted an in-depth analysis of the cost impacts to implement Measure 114 on local police departments and sheriff's offices throughout the state. It has been conservatively estimated that this measure would cost local agencies just over $49 million annually, with expected permit fees covering only $19.5 million. This leaves nearly $30 million a year that local governments' public safety budgets would be required to shift from law enforcement priorities to fund these permit programs. We have all seen the devastating effects that reducing law enforcement personnel has on crime rates and lawlessness in our communities. Oregon already has a strong background check system before a person purchases a firearm. This measure will create a duplicate background system that further reduces law enforcement resources, and that simply makes no sense. All Oregon sheriffs understand that firearm violence is a major public safety concern. We see firsthand the devastating effects of firearm violence on our communities, and we recognize that we must address firearm violence. But Measure 114 is just not the answer. This measure will not make our communities safer. In fact, it will put our communities at greater risk for violence because it requires that every sheriff's office and police agency divert scarce public safety resources to background systems that already exist. There are real solutions to firearms violence, including increased mental health resources and enhanced criminal sentences for those who use firearms in crimes. Taking law enforcement officers off the street and using those resources to create a second background check system is not a real solution to this problem. Please join me and OSSA in opposing Measure 114. Thank you.